So Barcelona has drawn to Girona 0-0 in La Liga, and we could have been 15 points up, but instead we have to basically be 13 points up, which I know that sounds spoiled and entitled, but this game wasn't really about that. This game was more about coming back to the Camp Nou and getting ourselves another win, getting ourselves a win to clarify to everyone that that Real Madrid game was a one-off, but I'm just not feeling that. Now, this game was 0-0. We still, at the end of the weekend, we still, are the winners because Real Madrid did lose to Villarreal 3-2 with the great game from Chukwueze and all the other Lo Celso, all the great Villarreal players who I thank a lot because they did beat Real Madrid twice this season, which is, Quique Setién, the former Barcelona coach. It is great to see him doing well with Villarreal, and it's great to see that he is helping Barcelona in the process. But this game against Girona, against our fellow Catalans in the Catalan derby, this was supposed to be a statement game, a game to show everyone that that game against Madrid was just a fluke, that's going to be the only time we have a loss like that, or either that or it was going to be very few times, because that's what we need at the Camp Nou. We need a fortress. But unfortunately, our attack just didn't want to do that. We had so many chances. We had so many opportunities. Same thing with Girona, which, by the way, massive shout out to Girona themselves, because usually when you play against smaller teams, they'll stay back and wait for the counter. We've seen this against Elche. We've seen this against other La Liga teams. I mean, my Premier League fans can agree with that when they play teams like Southampton, Everton. Really, any league, you'll always see the smaller teams will go for the counter. Girona didn't do that. They were heavily trying to get possession. Every time there was a single chance, they were trying to get a single pass to get to our goal. And lucky for us, they missed a lot of opportunities too. So this wasn't just a one-sided game, but still, our attack this game was not good. Lewandowski, especially at the last minute, we were so close. But Lewandowski, I don't know what happened, but he, instead of trying to find a good way to get the ball in his position, he decided to do like this back kick when he could have just gone up and just knocked it right in there. But we didn't say that. Ansu Fati, another disappointing game. It is disappointing that Ansu has yet to have a statement game. Sure, he was great against Elche, but it wasn't like what we used to see from Ansu back in the Valverde era, where he would, like, out of nowhere, he was explosive. He would get the goal in at a random time. That was the Ansu we all came to love. Ansu was that explosive winger who knew when to shoot, and he played so experienced. But with Ansu, we're not getting that anymore. Whether it's the injuries have affected him, whether the pressure's getting to him with the number 10, or maybe he's just not vibing with Xavi's system. I don't know, but it's just Ansu's not there. And Rafinha, again, more and more, I just keep thinking, is Rafinha even worth keeping? Because he's still a young Brazilian. We can get a lot of money for him. And right now, Barcelona's attack has not been exactly great. Lewandowski is a great striker, and I hope we get to keep him. But we need a younger striker. Like I said in the game against Real Madrid, we need that young striker who's able to come in for Lewandowski and is able to brine up the middle. Because that's something about Lewandowski you see. He's not as fast as he used to be. He's slow. I mean, he was never known for pace, but he's slow. He's not doing much. And with an attack with Rafinha and Ansu, it's just been nothing. In the midfield again, Sergio Roberto, why does he keep starting? I know the reason why Barcelona's struggling right now is because Frankie de Jong's injured, Pedri's injured, Dembele's injured. All the crucial players who have led us to this 13-point gap that we now have are injured. But why do we even have this bench? Should Rafinha even stay? Ansu, I'm starting to worry because I'm not seeing much of a reason to keep him. Dembele for sure should stay. He's injured right now, so that's the one thing against him right now. But Ferran Torres, when he came in, he didn't change nothing. Ferran, Rafinha, how many times are we going to see a Barcelona game where a winger struggling, and the only winger we can replace him with is a winger that's struggling even more? This game, the main criticism is the attack. They didn't do anything. They had so many chances. In fact, our best attacker of the game was Jordi Alba, who got subbed in during the game and was amazing for the short time. In fact, I'll say this right now. I think Jordi Alba might have to just start playing on the left wing for these future games. Now, the players who did do well, Busquets, he did his job. Again, very few times this season have I said Busquets had a bad game. Maybe against Bayern, there's been a couple games where there's been some drops of form, but overall, Busquets has been great. Our defenders this game, I think, honestly, Alejandro Balde, I think he by far has been our best player this game, because on the left side, he kept being a danger, he kept being creative, he was a complete lethal force. And Balde, I can see why they had to renew his contract recently, because he deserves it. Balde should be our left back for the next couple of years. Araujo with another decent performance. Kunde with another decent performance. They were all pretty good. Eric Garcia, even a defender that I've criticized heavily for the last however many years he's been at the club, 2 or 3 years, somewhere around there. Even I'm gonna give him credit too. He's been pretty solid today. Ter Stegen, I think, was solid too. But this game was supposed to be that statement. And lucky for us, we have this major gap. Real has a busy schedule with the Copa del Rey final, the Champions League now. But still, we can't. Barcelona, but La Liga is the biggest accomplishment we could have gone this season. I do think there needs to be changes this summer under Xavi's system. I think he's a great manager. I just think that bench, our depth, isn't really there. Sergi Roberto, Eric Garcia, Ferran Torres. I'm starting to consider maybe even Rafinha needs to go, because our wingers aren't just that. I mean, we have Dembele, but besides him, I don't see much confidence. I remember when the season started, we were like, oh, we have so many wingers. We have Ferran, we have Rafinha, we have Dembele, we have Ansu. But out of those players I just listed, the only one I have any confidence in is Dembele, and he's been injured for a while, and even he's injury prone, and I'm just starting this summer. We need to get ourselves a left winger. We need somebody who's confident on the left side, and we're gonna have to sell some players, because if Barcelona wants to improve and wants to compete for the Champions League in the future, we're gonna need to get better reinforcements. There's a reason why Real Madrid have won that many Champions League in the last couple of years. Remember that three-peating period that Real had? What players did they have on the bench? They had James, they had Isco, they had Morata, they had Asensio, Nacho, all these great players on their bench, and it led to them winning the Champions League. I still say this, the reason why Zidane's system worked so perfectly during that time period is because he was able to rest his players when they needed to, and he was able to bring in energy through each team or every game, because he had such a amazing bench that could fill in the spots when needed. When a player was injured, boom, you just had another one step in each position. They had that. But Barcelona doesn't have that. And you see this with every team. Bayern, when they won the Champions League, Liverpool, Chelsea, every Champions League winning team you've seen in the last couple of years, the reason why they've won is because they had a good bench. They had an amazing bench. Sure, the bench is not the most important part there, but they are definitely a crucial part to making a great team. And look, we didn't lose this game. We still have a 13-point gap. That's more than what we had before the weekend. But still, we lost 4-0 to Real Madrid, and now we drew 0-0 to Girona. And no disrespect to Girona, they're 11th place. That's pretty good in La Liga, especially for a Girona team that got promoted, I think, this season or last season. I don't remember. But for Barcelona, you got to get these wins. You got to be able to go into these games and win, and not just win 1-0 or 2-0. You got to be able to go into these games and win 3-0, 4-0. And part of that is we need a better bench. We can complain about Pedri, De Jong, and Dembele being injured all day long, but it's not going to matter. When we lose to Liverpool or Bayern in the Champions League, it's not going to matter. Because at the end of the day, people aren't going to remember the players that were injured. They're going to remember what was on the result, on the score sheet itself. So we got to get a better team. Overall, decent game, decent performances. The defense is definitely the one part that I'll say was an upside from this game. But overall, we're going to have to wait and see and find out. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think. Do you agree, disagree, whatever it is, let us know in the comment section down below. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Visca Barça y Visca Catalunya.